Hello, and thanks for joining us on this month's Mark IV Battle Report on Tried and True. If you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing to the channel and keep up to date on our VAT and podcast releases. If you would like to support the channel directly, a link to our Patreon can be found in the video description below. Shout out to our patrons for your support and voting in this month's matchup. Our match today was recorded using the 2023 Steamroller Rules Scenario 6, Recon 2. Accidentally stumbling onto creepy, wicked carnival grounds is returning player Andy. Welcome back. He has brought a 75-point list of united Kriels led by the great chieftain Madrak. Please discuss your list choices and strategy going into the game.
I'm a troll players now. I'm playing Madrak 3. I'm having a lot of fun just spamming lights with him with positive charge. I'm having way too much fun, honestly. At 75 points, I'm playing Madrak with a Mauler for Rage, an Axer, a Bouncer, and an Impaler. All just have great animi and great utility for light beasts and just targets for me to throw a positive charge on. I'm playing a Gunnery Sergeant, a Trokan Rune Bearer, and then I have 4 units. I have a Barrage Team, I have 2 units of Fenblaze with the attachment, and then I have a unit of Scouts. My cards are Blessing of the Gods, Careful Recon, Hit and Run, Infiltration, and Power Swell.
Looking to capitalize on the Trollbloods Carnival confusion is crowd favorite and returning player Gatorman Pete. Welcome back. He has brought a 75-point list of dark operations led by Exelon Thexus. Please discuss your thoughts and model selection for today's match.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me again. Today I'm playing one of my all-time favorite casters, Thexus. He is a beautiful monstrosity attached to some sort of mechanical spider crab. You know, the Cephalix really came out of playtesting with some really cool changes, but they really have the same flavor, and I'm still in love with them. Thexus has, you know, normal TK shenanigans, which are a little bit different because it's no longer offensive, and he has that incredibly powerful feat where he just gets to move everything on the field that his enemy has 2 inches in any direction. So to try and capitalize on his strengths, I have 1 each of all of the monstrosities except the Subduer, which is my absolute favorite. Those net guns can really open up some cheeky picks. I've got a pair of Bloat Thralls, which went through some changes. They're much more accurate now and don't need a lot of support. I've got 3 Agitators, Dr. Stygius, who's still a good old spell slave, my Pistol Wraith, 1 unit of Mindbender and Drudges, and 2 Mindslaver and Drudges, which are all now shield guards, so that'll be fun. My command cards this time are Breakthrough, Careful Recon, Hit and Run, Infiltration, and, because I'm playing into Trolls, Savagery.
Can Madrak lead his forces through the chaotic grounds and ward off an army of Cephalix? Let's get to the table and roll off.
Hi, Pete.
Oh hey, how's it going?
I do like the little carnival aspect. The posters there are basically, if somebody's hiding behind the poster, all you can see is their feet, so they're concealed.
Yep. Counting as clouds.
I think that we're counting that top right thing as a hill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure whether it comes into play or not, but it is a beautiful hill.
We've got that hill, we've got a little tall grass in the cornfield behind that banner on the top left.
And a not healthy forest in the bottom.
Well, you were very insistent that 1 tree be alive.
I need at least 1.
Alright, here we go.
You go first, right?
I do, yep. So, this is the part where I check my card to make sure that I know all Thexus' spells, just like is tradition.
He's only got 9.
So I'm going to allocate a little bit to my monstrosities. You know, as we've mentioned in the past, monstrosities don't power up like normal warjacks, but they also don't drop focus between rounds. And as an added bonus, anytime they take damage, they gain a focus. Now, Cephalix used to use anatomical precision to kind of poke their own guys to fuel them up. In Mark IV, attacking your own dudes is no longer a thing, and Stygius doesn't have his extra focus aura. So to kind of compensate from that, they can now run for free as monstrosities. So that does sort of even out the economy there. I'm going to start by running some of my Drudge Slavers up. These are the ones that are all shield guards now, which is very nice. and I'm going to run another set of dredges up down the left side of the field. Try to hide them behind this caravan. Now, they're kind of unique in that they're a 6-man squad now. There's the 5 drudges and there's the 1 slaver. The slaver has a slightly different stat line, including 1 extra speed. So when he runs, he gets that extra inch that they wouldn't get if they were the primaries. I'm going to move one of my subduers up to threaten some of the board with his net gun. Move my second subduer up. And then I've got a few gloat thralls to try and throw some AoEs out there. So I want to get them in a good position. Now
They're way better than they were in Mark III.
They're so good. They do still explode when you kill them, but it's really nothing. It's all models within 2 inches take a POW 8. You know, that's not hurting anything in this army. And if it does, I gain focus. Stygius hides behind the outhouse, question mark.
Ticket booth, Peter, ticket booth.
Por qué no los dos?
It is a gross carnival.
It is a gross carnival. One of my agitators sneaks up behind that cloud. Thexus moves up a little bit. Unlike almost all of the solos and other Cephalix quote-unquote models that aren't drudges or monstrosities, Thexus doesn't have innate stealth, so he does need to play a little safe. Thankfully, he does have sack pawn monstrosity, so he can just shove off all those hits, and he does have D-Cell, which comes in very handy this game. I move my Mind Slavers up, and my Agitator back there, and we pass turn.
Ooh, and now it's my turn. This is my first time playing Cephalix in Mark IV. They are quite a bit different, but very much the same flavor. So going up into that Thexus feat, I know what I don't want to be in the feat, and I know what I don't care about getting feated on. So I'm kind of just gonna throw some pot shots. That double flail guy is probably the most devastating thing in his army, because if he takes an entire unit of Fen Blades out with that, I think I'm in trouble. Because he made sure to take that savagery card.
He got a little buff too. His POW is a little higher.
I don't think the POW matters. I think it's a giant 2-inch thresher that I'm worried about. As long as you're hitting a power 14, you kill them, I promise.
Spoilers, we see something.
Just a little. So I take pot shots at your flail guy and am reminded that that unit is shield guards. However, these guys are power 14 with AoE 2 power 8s, so you got a decent shot at killing some dudes with blast.
Yeah, it decimates most of the
unit. Most of that unit is gone. The rocket dude unit is 8 points, and I think your unit is somewhere between 6 and 7. 6 points, but it still forces you to come get the rocket dudes. They're going to continue to work turn over turn, and it's forcing you to use up shield guards and take bodies off the board for free. So I think this is a decent play for me, especially because I can keep the gunnery sergeant safe. He has really cool sneaky effects for like spyglass to make sure you're so I have a stealth out, or he can just get a random ancillary attack on one of my beasts to like just make efficiency much better. I'm going to throw the scouts behind the forest because I don't really need to do anything with them yet. I am terrified of your unit over there because I'm not entirely sure in which direction they're going to go, because depending on who you take TK out of there, they could go all the way to the right or they could go all the way to the left, so I'm not sure what. I moved the Fen Blades up a little bit, probably farther than I wanted to move them. They didn't really have to do anything this turn, but I kind of wanted to like at least get them a little bit up the board. I'm super terrified of his feet, I'm gonna be honest. I go with the Bouncer. He just runs and puts his Animi up because it's one of the few things that ignores your feet. So he's going to wedge himself behind that wall, that fence up there, and I'm going to wedge some stuff against him so that pushing is going to be much harder. I run up with the Fen Blades a very, very short distance. I run up with the Axer, and then I run up with my Rune Bearer and wedge him against the Bouncer. I wedged the Impaler up against the objective, and then I wedged the Mauler up against the fence and the Bouncer. Then I go with Madrak. I cast Soothing Song, which means I only have one Fury out for the Animi and run, so I'm going to run up pretty far in Camp 5 and put the bouncer animi up so you don't drag me to my death.
Alright, Cephalick's turn 2, here we go. I put a bunch on Thexus. I don't really feel the need to allocate this turn. You know, my monstrosities, again, don't drop their focus, so I'm sitting on 2s and 1s on most of them right now, which is pretty good. I don't know how much combat they're going to see this turn yet, but I do go through and see all those possible places that I could TK one of my drudges, and the possible vectors that I could use to jam them down Andy's throat a little bit. You know, he mentioned I can go right, I can go left, I can get on his I can get on just about anything if I choose to feed. But the big question is this my feed turn, or do I save it for something down the line? So we're in the tank a little bit, trying to figure that out. In the end, I decide to go left because I look at some fen blades, I look at a bouncer, and then I look at that rune bearer, and I think that might be a pretty good target for this 6-point unit.
Yeah, I don't like losing the rune bearer this early. He's a lot of things for me right now.
Does he have a spell slave target? Or no, he just has.
Yeah, he can positive charge without Madrak going. Yeah,
that's very good.
It's so good. It's so good.
Madrak got some really interesting changes. You know, no more Battle Lust, but Battle Lust is a little different, and with the unit sizes, it's not really as good as it was. Positive charge kind of just like gives him that oomph.
If you use it well, it makes lights like really worth it, and I love using light beasts. They're so cool looking and flavorful.
So we've got a bloat thrall moved up there. He's going to take a couple shots, see if he can throw out some corrosion, maybe put a little damage into one of these. What are they? Brigadiers, Commando, Rocketmen?
I just keep calling them Bazooka Boys, but Trollkin Barrage Team. So I think I take this to Madrak, because Madrak himself is a shield guard. So that lets me divert the main brunt of the attack. I think I throw a couple points onto the Mauler from the attack, and then all I'm rolling on the other guys is blast damage. So I'm just trying to make sure you don't plink them away with a power 14 to the face.
You get a few good corrosions out there.
Yeah, you're just gonna try to beat me on clock with corrosion, I understand.
And then we look at my second bloat thrall, trying to see where he can go, what he can do. And throw out another shot. We got a nice hit. No shield guards on this one.
Madrak can only take so many shots to the face. And now
he's a pretty beefy boy.
Oh, he's like armor 21. He is perfectly happy shield guarding shots. But I think this is where we're arguing. We're trying to figure out who's closest to who. AoEs did not get easier, everybody. They just got more complicated.
The argument still exists, just different points.
There's just fewer pieces on the board to argue over. No more little circles, just measuring distance.
In the end, we decide that the Fen Blade is closer. Thankfully, I don't damage it. You know, getting that vengeance on them was a little scary, but I get the corrosion without the damage, which is an ideal situation for me.
Yeah, getting a vengeance on them would have been huge.
Here comes that TK. Those of you who saw the last Thexus game might recognize the Drudged Malakov, who's running in with his unit.
He's charging my Rune Bearer, unfortunately. Yeah, with the new unit movement and getting everybody behind stuff, it's gonna be really annoying to try and clear everything off over there. And they're surprisingly sturdy. I thought they were armor trash. They're like armor, what, 16, 17?
They used to be 16 base, now they're 15.
Okay, they're not that great.
17 with D-Cell, it's pretty good.
Yeah, against shots, especially since they're kind of there to die.
And tough.
Yeah.
So we hit a few attacks. Now their mat is only 5, but they do have gang, so if you can get 2 on a thing, they do pretty good damage. And that Rune Bearer falls, and no tough check for him.
No, he's dead, but he does make Madrak kind of cranky. We
throw an attack on the Bouncer. Doesn't really do anything. Bouncer has some pretty good armor, planks them away for a couple points of damage. And then we throw a few attacks on the Fenblades.
And they melt quite quickly.
Yeah.
Fenblades are defense 13, armor 14 on the card. They will just die.
Yeah, the 13 saved you once or twice, though.
Yeah, the defense 13 is really nice. They were defense 12 at one point, but I think they realized that they're kind of they're the only heavy lifting infantry in the army, and they needed something. They also hit like an actual truck. Like with positive charge and gang, they're hitting at like mat 11, power 16. It's nonsense.
Now they did gang in place of no quarter, correct?
Yeah, they no longer have no quarters. They have a very static threat range of 11 inches.
Except Vengeance.
Except Vengeance, yes, which they will be using this turn to try and clear themselves off a little bit. I think here you're trying to harpoon whatever you can.
Yeah, seeing if I can get a net up on one of your barrage team.
On my poor knockdown barrage boy. He was a hero. He took 2 shots, 2 blasts,
yeah,
a shot to the face, and then toughed anyway.
Rolled his tough, yep.
During this game, I kept forgetting that all of your small base solos and whatnot were all stealth. So I'm gonna keep trying to like sit there and go, I'm gonna shoot that, and you're like, okay, sure.
I bring my Mindslaver unit up. Now these ones are not shield guards. The Mindslaver used to basically use his grunts as mana. He could buff dudes, he could throw out sprays, and he could channel through any number of his grunts, up to 3 of them. But channeling through them killed them. Now he can channel through them, and they don't die, but he only gets 1 spell cast, so he can only buff 1 thing. Although I'm very excited to play with Magnus.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one. Magnus in this army is going to be gross.
Oh man, I ordered him yesterday.
Oh, after we talked about it and said, yeah, do you want to know how you make this a 100-point list? You put Magnus in it. I think you just rolled triple snake eyes on something. I don't know what it was.
So I took 1 Drudge, buffed him with the Mind Bender, TK'd him forward, and charged him at one of your barrage team, and rolled 3 ones.
Oh, he was the last one left in that unit. He was just being vindictive, that's all. He got what he deserved.
I move an Agitator up, hide that Agitator back there, and my Pistol Wraith heads up on the flag. And the Wrecker gets into a nice threatening position, and I pass turn.
So you've really bricked up in the middle of the table. I have to make a ton of corrosion rolls here. I think a couple of them go out. My dude who was knocked down unfortunately succumbed finally to the corrosion.
I think he lose the Fenblade there too.
Yeah, I think I lose the Fenblade too. Which sucks because it doesn't trigger Vengeance, so he just dies for no reason.
It's the best reason.
We're still in maintenance phase, because lots of things are happening on maintenance phase. Poor Forest.
There goes your 1 health tree.
Yeah, the Fenblade's drummer is still alive, so they still have Pathfinder. So they're just going to walk up as far as they can, and they're just going to start wailing on dudes. With Gang, they're mat 9, so they're really not going to miss these guys. And they're power 14, so they're really not going to kill him. I just got to pray he doesn't tough a bunch of times. And he toughs a bunch of times. But it's okay, because I got plenty of attacks to put into this to try and clear it before my turn starts in earnest. Oh, he doesn't have tough, right? Your spindly dude in the middle?
Correct, the leader does not. Yeah, Drudges have tough, and the Cephalics themselves tend to have stealth.
Gotcha. So Madrak is also cranky. He has Righteous Vengeance, so he is going to walk forward and murder the guy who was attempted Superman. Not as impressive as he thought he was going to be. Alright, now we do control phase. Madrak camped 5 last turn. I only had 1 out on the bouncer, so I pulled that in to go to 6. And now I gotta figure out what exactly I want to do here. You are an imposing brick, and I don't think I can charge you with any fen blades. So that's kind of my saving grace usually, is charging with fen blades. So I think I have to feat this turn, and throw some stuff up the board and hope you can't kill it all. I walk up with my scouts within 5 inches of your stealthy dudes. So the back guy is going to throw at he randomly rolls an 11.
The agitator.
But doesn't hurt him, I don't believe, because it's only a power 10 axe to the face.
D-cell is up.
Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to clear this zone cheaply, and you only have him in the zone. I randomly roll another 11 and then a 10 to clear the zone. So I'm just trying to put little bits of points into here just to see if I can clear this zone cheaply without having to put too much into it. The good thing is now I can score 2 points here pretty easily. I'm going to have to run a solo over because my rune bearer is now dead. But I can throw a beast in the zone, and I can throw a solo on that flag, and hopefully try and assassinate the pistol wraith from afar. My fen blades could charge that heavy that's next to the cart up there, but none of them can see him through that cloud, unfortunately. I have spyglass, but that doesn't help me see him specifically because he's not the one that has stealth or anything like that. So I can't. There's no way for me to see through that cloud, so I can't offensively get to anything. Pete did a good job of blocking sight lines there. I do have Spell Piercer, so your incorporeal model on the flag is still at risk, and I think all of your shield guards over there are gone currently. So I think I misplay this a little bit, where I'm moving these guys before I cast Spell Piercer, and I go, never mind, I do not want to do that. No, thank you. I think I go with the Mauler. He's just going to eat some dudes. He has snacking, so he took a couple points of damage. He's mat 7, and you're what? Defense?
11.
11? Oh, defense 11. Jeez.
Yeah.
So he eats some dudes and heals. He's just there to clear stuff off and give rage to things that rage and be just a good closing piece.
That shield guard got transferred to him earlier.
Yeah, so he's removing some points, clearing the rest of that unit off. I think he's got 1 Fury on him. Maybe 2. I keep him wedged on the bouncer, but then immediately move the bouncer away. So I may or may not have a problem when it comes to your feet, but we'll see how that goes. I walk up with the bouncer to put him in the zone, and I put his Animai on him so you can't push him out of the zone for next turn. I run over with the gunnery sergeant so I can score, so that gets me 2 points so far this turn. So I'm feeling pretty good on scenario, but I know my attrition game is going to suffer a little bit just because I kind of have to give you the alpha here. I'm not sure whether I want to commit anything into that top zone because there's no way I'm ever going to score it. But I know I have to at least contest it because I can't give you points on my turn. So I go with Madrak. He's a coward this turn. He casts Soothing Song, I believe, to clear up some fury, and then he casts Spell Piercer, so I can attempt to get that dude off the flag. And then he runs next to the Mauler, just to not be pullable. The barrage team gets to go now, for real this time, and they're going to pop some shots at your pistol wraith. They immediately blow him up because incorporeal is probably the only thing that really got going for him. I don't think I do anything with the blast damages here.
Couple points on the blow draw.
I was questioning you about that at this point. I'm like, ooh, if I blow him up, do good things happen? You're like, not really. Power 8s. I'm like, that's just my blast damage roll. I'll just shoot what I want to shoot. Screw that.
It's not even corrosion anymore.
I'm still worried about that flail guy who's behind that building there, and I don't know what to do about him. I know he's going to come in and just thresher a ton of stuff. But I know I still have to jam you a little bit. Because I can't give you just the middle of the board to just do whatever you want with. I know Madrak's pretty safe. I know the Mauler's pretty safe. And I know the bouncer can't be pulled. So the bottom of the screen right now is in pretty good shape. but the top of the screen I really am not sure what to do with. I'm finishing up the shots from my bazooka boys right now. I don't think they're doing too much. They're plinking off some of your other unit, I think, just because I know I'm not going to do anything else with blast damage to anything else, so I might as well try and kill multiple models with that. Here's where I try to get cheeky. I think I stand still and give your flail guy cover, but I want to snipe my impaler and then boost a hit to try and crit slam that flail guy as far away from me as humanly possible. So if I get a really good slam, like a good 3-inch slam or something like that, maybe with TK he doesn't get that far up the board and he'll have a hard time getting around that building. So I think I'm at 8, standing still. I boost a hit and I spend a fury to snipe and I try and slam you away. I hit you, but I do not crit. It's only a power 13, so I don't boost it, I don't think, and I just kind of say, here, take a few points to your 36 boxes.
And a free fury.
And a free fury, yes. Can't forget that roll, because I do it.
Nope.
I do it every turn. Here's where I say I have to put something in this zone, and I don't want it to be the Fen Blades. So I just run the Axer over. He's probably going to die, but I'm spending 7 points to save myself a scenario point, essentially, is what I'm doing there. And then I run and jam with the Fen Blades, hoping my feet can save some of them.
Tactician's a hell of a drug.
What'd you say?
Tactician's a hell of a drug.
Oh god, I feel like it's cheating. It's so good. Every time I play Madrak, I'm just like, what do you mean I don't have to worry about order of activations? And then I try and do something a little cheeky over here, where I throw the other Fen Blades as backup, so that maybe some of these guys can charge in next turn and wail in a heavy. I wasn't sure where really to put them, just because there was no good spot where they weren't going to get dragged out and just die.
Now, at this point, my mouth is watering, because I've got my wrecker there, and I've got Thexus's feet, and I am seeing an opportunity for a very, very big Thresher attack. And it might not be a great idea, and it might be the best idea in the world, but doesn't matter, I'm doing it anyway. So we allocate a little bit, I cap off a few of my beasts, and we try to crunch the numbers and see how far I can get him up, where I want to place him, and where I need to push all these pawns around.
I think this is your favorite part of the game.
Oh, it's so nice.
Where you just get to put models where you want and say, now I Thresher you.
Look at this nice little semicircle. The Thresher's even got bigger, because without arcs, you know, I can just jam him in the middle and put stuff around him.
Yeah, you're just 360 no-scoping me.
Yep. Maybe no-scoping my own stuff too sometimes, but you know, sacrifice we're willing to make, right?
You are Cephalix, it's thematic.
It's the corporate motto.
Yeah, when you start measuring to these guys, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm like, please stop. Please. Please no.
Alright, so I end up taking a shot with my my bullet thrall there. He misses. We do a corrosion point.
Here's where we're trying to figure out where all those corrosion tokens are supposed to be, because I moved a bunch of models around and didn't follow with the corrosion tokens.
Alright, pick a spot. There's my feet.
And you throw your feet marker at me.
2 inches there.
Oh, my poor Axer.
2 inches there. 2 inches there. 2 inches there. Just making a nice little grouping.
I just have to watch it happen. That's all I can do. I'm helpless.
I bring that barrage team forward. Get a couple Fen Blades. I think it ends up being 7 models.
That sounds about right, yeah. It's definitely more than a unit.
And I push these guys in so that they can be attacked a little easier by my my Mind Bender there.
Yeah, and here's where I say, here's the guys who are out. The Mauler and Madrak. There you go. And everybody else you can do whatever you want with them.
Feet doesn't even affect Madrak, so it's really just one dude.
And the Mauler's not really going anywhere.
Really wished I could have pushed that bouncer.
Yeah, just putting his Animi up just means like you're never gonna get him out of that zone. But you do make sure my solo gets off the flag. I think you pushed him through the woods, so he only gets 1 inch, but it's still off the flag, so it doesn't really change much for you. Saves you a point, or having to contest it.
Alright, then we move in, and I figure out how many TKs I can put out on the board. Thexus now arcs through warrior models instead of arcing through his monstrosities like he did last edition. So I arc a couple times through my bloat throw there. He eats a few points of damage because it's a D3 every time you do it, but you know, he starts at 8, so he can eat it pretty easily. Takes 1, then another 1. And I clear the charge lane by moving my Subduer, and then I move the Wrecker up.
Here's where I'm measuring the 8 inches on Madrak to see if my Axer's in range. He is not. All I'm doing is praying you just drag the Axer to within 8 inches of Madrak so he has some hope of surviving. Oh, this guy. I didn't know this guy existed. He was behind that house the whole time.
So these are the agitators. Now, agitators have a rule called Instigate, where they move up, they use a star action, and all monstrosities within 5 inches get 2 on attack rolls and 2 on damage rolls, which cranks them to high numbers pretty quickly, because this Wrecker is, you know, base 18 chain weapon, so he just became a POW 20, doing a big old thresher.
And he's, you know, Mat 9.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is where I get nervous. I go, alright, well there goes half my army.
I do believe he's only Mat 6 now, though.
I was only Mat 6.
But he becomes 8 with the Instigate,
yeah,
which is pretty good.
And you throw your Savagery card out and, you know, do the thing you're supposed to do. This guy has 8 boxes, so you just have to roll damage on him, but your dice plus anyway, so he just dies.
Yep, they all evaporate. No tough checks means no Madrak feet.
Correct.
Which is very convenient.
Yes, the Savagery card definitely, if you have Threshers, throw that into any time you're playing against Trolls. Yeah, I think you need 5s to hit, and you roll like exactly a bunch of 5s. I think you missed 1 guy.
I missed that first Fenblade.
Yeah.
And I got so excited by the work he did that I forgot that I could also buy attacks.
So your focus wasn't actually on him. I think you left your focus somewhere else and moved it over later.
My Mindbender and Slaves move on up. They need to roll pretty high on these dudes because they don't have gang and they're only Mat 5. But I do get pretty lucky, and the Madrak feat does not trigger. You're rolling 4, 5, or 6 for your toughs, and you get a bunch of 3s.
Mm-hmm. I think this last guy toughs though. This last one was in 12 of Madrak, so he gets to walk away.
Here goes. Bye-bye.
He wasn't sure where to go, but he just didn't want to get attacked by the 2 other guys who were engaging him.
Alright, Subduer moves up. And he's going to try and clear this one dude. He's putting himself in a position where he can hit him with a knockdown gun and drag him in. So he's got the Instigate bonus on the ranged attack. He boosts to hit. He grabs him, and brings him forward.
Slams him in the face.
Crushes him with a POW 19.
He, however, does not have Savagery, so I'm praying that I can just walk away from you, but I cannot, because I do not tough.
Alright, now I gotta figure out what I want to do with this top Subduer. Now, in my head, I've got a golden scenario where if I can melee one guy, kill him, and pull in your impaler, but you know he's got dual attack, so he has to use all his initials before he can buy additional melees. So there's really no chance that I can kill the Axer and drag him in, you know, by only using a single attack from that Axer. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a golden spot where I can sit and maybe be able to get on both of them, but that spot doesn't really exist. So I kind of have to decide which guy I want to go for. If I want to go for the Impaler or if I want to go for the Axer. Now I end up deciding that I want to go for the Impaler because him shooting Thexus kind of scares me a little bit. But you shield guard to Madrak, who is just within 3, which ruins that plan and ends with that Subduer not really doing a whole lot this turn.
Madrak says no pulse. I think, actually, would you have any way of knocking the Axer down? Because if you walk into melee with the Axer, he's not engaging you, and then you could shoot the... Well, like, still shooting the Impaler doesn't work. So maybe if you walk into melee with the Impaler and then shoot... you have to knock the Impaler down, too.
Yeah.
There's a way it could work. I think you could make it work, just not this way.
I have another net gun, but not this turn. If I had bought attacks on the Wrecker and used my net gun to knock down the Axer, that might have done it. That's not how this played out. Alright, come up with a blow throw.
Kill more Fen Blades, unfortunately.
Yep.
I'm like, no, my clapback, please.
I think I decide against it because I do want to put him on that flag. Now this is the moment where I realize that my Wrecker is not in the best position, but I still have a TK available off of Dr. Stygius, and I do have my Warden back here. But the Warden is kind of jammed in, so I'm trying to find a spot where I can teammate my Wrecker back and then run the Warden around and try to lock the Clap back onto the Wrecker and maybe save him from the Mauler.
Yeah, he's only speed 5, so he only can get so far. So this is bottom of 3. Nobody scored last turn, because my Axer is still defiantly sitting there in that zone. And I am doing a bunch of corrosion rolls again. It's my favorite thing this game. Madrak took a couple points over the course of the game so far, just to corrosion. Here's where my eyes light up and I go, I want to get my Mauler on as many of those models as I possibly can. I would love to have Rage, but I think I need Rush to get onto your Flail guy, and the Flail guy is your heaviest melee beater, right? So he's the one I want to make sure dies first. So I'm going to need to rush the Mauler with Madrak in order to get him as far as I possibly can. He will get positive charge as well, so he's still going to be hitting at +2. +2. But +2, +4 would be really, really good. So I think I have to go early with Madrak. Madrak Camp 2. So during my control phase, I have 1 out on the Mauler, 2 out on the Impaler, and 1 out on the Axer, so I pull all of those in. I think I leave 1 on the Axer over there by accident, but I had the right Fury amount. We really should have changed colors because you're using purple Fury too, so it's a little confusing. Whoops. Live and learn.
We both used to play Everblade, that's the problem.
Yeah, I know. Used to. I have the full FA in my basement. It's no regrets. Oh no, he's really good. So Madrak is basically, he's chucking a spear at a dude because he can, I guess, and giving you focus because I can, I guess. He's going to stay where he's at because he's outside kill box and he's not dying there. He positive charges and rushes the... actually, he positive charges the Impaler because I'm being cheeky and I'm trying to get more models in positive charge range. So I can get that Axer in there once the Impaler goes. So the Mauler goes up and charges. He is currently that orange circle right there. He charges the flail guy and absolutely just decimates the damage roll. I think he's dice +1 and then he rolls a really good damage roll again. So I'm already going above average here. He's got a couple boxes left, I think. He buys his first attack after charging, so he's on 2 currently.
3 points left.
He buys a second attack, and he's dice plus, so he dies anyway, even with the 3. He is a Fury 5, so he has to have 2 attacks left. I think I'm just going to beat on the... Who's your net guy? What's he called?
The Subduer.
So I beat on the Subduer. Rolling 4s is fine, because positive charge is great. Makes me mat 9. Then my dice go really, really quiet. I'm rolling a lot of 1s. So this is putting him all the way up at 5. And I think I kill him by like about a third or so with that last attack. He's doing okay. So he's done. He's done his job. He's probably going to die next turn. So we're just going to leave him up there and be as hot as he needs to be, because we're not taking that Fury back. So the Impaler is not sure what he wants to do. He kind of wants to kill something in your back line, but I think he just settles for going into melee with your Subduer, just so he can get into range of where the Axer's going to stand. Because the Axer wants a really juicy Thresher as well, because I saw you do it, and now I want to do it too. So the Axer wants to be in 3 inches of where the Axer's going to... so the Impaler's going to be within 3 inches of the Axer's going to be, but that means so I can't get out of 2 of the Subduer. So I'm going to be engaging the Subduer no matter what. So I'm just going to poke him with a spear, I guess. He's only power 15 with positive charge, so he plinks him for a couple. I have enough Fury out, and I'm going to have more, so we're going to not buy any. They're not super great attacks anyway. Axer walks up, he does a big old Thresher, rolls just fine, and no, actually I think he misses the spindly dude up there with his Thresher. These are power 16s, I think, though, so they are high enough with positive charge to like finish off that heavy. So I buy an attack into your solo so I can score that zone. Somehow I'm scoring that zone, I don't know how. And then I think I buy another attack into your Subduer, because I know I'm going hot anyway, so it's fine. I know the Impaler's not going to go nuts, at least. So this puts me at 1 point so far. The Fen Blades are going to charge in. I'm just spinning this guy, so I can put people where I need them to be. I haven't really done anything to this guy yet, but one guy is going to get positive charge, and they're both going to get gang. So they're going to... One's going to be a power 16 with 3 dice, one's going to be power 14 with 3 dice, so should be a decent chunk. Probably not going to kill him, but enough to freak him out a little bit. They are at 9 and 11, so that 3 still probably hits.
Mm-hmm. You take out his brain. The brain system on the monstrosities is like the cortex in a warjack, so he was full up. He was going to have 3 focus going into the next turn. And they chunked his brain and took all that focus away.
Makes my Mauler much safer. I don't know what I'm going to do with all that Fury, but he's safer. My Scout doesn't know what he wants to do, so he's just going to walk up and miss, and then miss again. So he's doing the Lord's work over here. The Bouncer walks up. He's just going to get within 1 inch of that guy, and he's going to fail mightily, and then yield tough. And then I'll Snake Eyes another damage roll with a shield and not crack armor, so Bouncer's doing great. The Gunnery Sergeant walks up to score the flag, and Ancillary attacks just to be vindictive. And
just
rolls
enough.
a 4 on the Flail. The Flail's a power 12, I believe. So
16, and he needed a 16.
Just barely a crack on armor 15. That scores me 2 points, so I am up 4-0 at the top of 4 now.
Alright, so this is when I get real sad that my Warden there can't be allocated because his brain is dead. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna deal with this Mauler and see if I can score a couple points myself. So I move my Agitator up. I use Instigate to buff my 2 monstrosities there. Now, even though my Warden can't buy attacks or boost anything this turn, he's got 3 initials. So 3 initials with +2/+2 has the potential to do some good work. And Thexus himself also has a debuff. So I throw Crippling Grasp out on the Mauler. I hit it because he boosts. He's focus 8, so he has no problem shooting through that in melee bonus. Only makes the Mauler 16. 8 on 3 dice seems pretty easy. And then I move him up a little bit, try to hide him behind that carriage. And here comes the Subduer.
They hit deceptively hard, but I gotta keep reminding myself they only have 1 initial in melee. The Mauler is armor 20, and my phone is invisible right now.
He did get debuffed though.
Thanks, Ryan.
So he's down to 18. Yep, and I'm up to 19.
Oh, he's down to 18
after Instigate.
The Axer is sadly still out of my aura because I'm good at this game.
There goes the Mauler. Stygius moves up. I TK him into the zone. Then I move up my Warden. He takes a few melee swings. We get a miss. We get another miss. And one last initial. Hits.
This is the leader, so he's got 8 boxes, so yeah, actually had to roll a damage roll and murdered it.
I moved my Bloat Throw up there, try to take a cheeky shot. This is when I make a mistake though. I saw my second Bloat Throw off to the side there. I was like, oh yeah, he can score the flag. But we realized in a little bit, you killed him a couple turns ago. He was just off to the side in the graveyard.
Oh yeah, I didn't even call this out. Erica called this out. She's like, where'd the third Bloat Throw come from?
We were all like, what?
I was like, what third Bloat Throw? I didn't even catch that during the game.
So I get nothing on that flag like I planned. Nothing else is left to move around there, and this makes me a pretty sad boy.
Yeah, somehow the game ends on your turn. Very abrupt way to end it, but my butt was clenched the entire time, I promise.
Oh yeah.
Alright, Pete, what do you think of Madrak?
I love Madrak. He is one of my favorite troll casters for sure. His changes are pretty cool. You know, those of you who have been playing for a while might remember that when Madrak 3 first dropped, he wasn't very great. But he had some little tricks like Soothing Song, and then he got changed, and all of a sudden he was a Battle Lust monster. And this current...
He was just an infantry caster, yeah.
Yeah, this current iteration of Madrak is a really nice blend of his original incarnation and what he came to be that we all loved last edition. And I really like where he landed. It's a cool kit.
Yeah, I really want to drop him with a Gargantuan at some point. Just throw Mountain King up the board and positive charge it and surround him with Fenblades. Tactician's a massive, massive boon.
Every time I see him, I just have flashbacks to that food machine where I ran him in blind water, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a lot of cheating. You gave a lot of money to charity that day, Pete.
I did.
Thexus is still terrifying, even without being able to TK me.
Yep.
He's I like his support a lot better now. Like, where before, like, it felt like you were just kind of slowly murdering all of your own stuff and making your stuff slightly weaker in order to have more offensive output. Now it feels like they're a little bit more dynamic. Your solos have stealth, so it's hard to shoot them on the way in, but they do kind of want to play up so that you can get that agitate off, which is absolutely gross, because offensively, your heavies are no slouches on the card. They really aren't. So making them +2/+2 from there, and then another +2 from Crippling Grasp is debilitating.
Yeah, they went through a little bit of a tweak. You know, they used to be armor 18 with a gross amount of hit points and a little bit pillow-fisted. And they dropped their armor, but they upped their POW by 1 across the board. And that little swing, you know, 17 to 18 becoming 19 to 20, it really did a lot of good work for them, because they are dirt cheap. You know, you're bringing monstrosities for they're 8, 9, and 11 points respectively, and that is nothing for a 36 box heavy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, armor 17 means if you get a heavy on it, it's just going to die very easily. But they'll last through gunshots, they'll last through lights, they'll last through infantry charges just fine for the most part. But it's quantity over quality with those guys, that's for sure. But offensively on the card, they are no slouches.
Especially since Crippling Grasp is new to Thexus too. He's got an armor debuff now.
Yeah, he needed more cool spells. He just needed more of those. We are recording this, I think, 2 weeks before Nova. So at Nova, we're doing all kinds of narrative events. We're doing the Iron Gauntlet qualifier, which is staying at 75 points because the Iron Gauntlet is 75 points. Reminder for everybody. We got the King of Coin events, and we got all kinds of open play and random steamrollers going on every day. So, the Prince of Pence. Yes, we came up with that name while we were trying to make sure everybody who's playing in the King of Coin have something to do that day if they lost round 1, unfortunately for them. So we're gonna have some runner-up prizes for the King of Coin. So even if you don't end up the King of Coin playing in the King of Coin, you're gonna get something.
You could be the Prince of Pence.
Yes, the Prince.
There's a word for that.
Yes, Liddy, the Prince of Pence. Pete, you'll be at Nova, right?
I'll be there.
Are you doing? You're hosting a Spelljammer campaign?
I am. I'm running a few sessions of Spelljammer. You know, it just came out in 5e, so I'm pretty new to it, and everybody's pretty new to it, and we're all going to learn together in one of my favorite settings. Any sort of fantasy sci-fi mashup is like right in my wheelhouse. I'm very excited for this.
So if you want to play a little D&D when you go to Nova, make sure you sign up for Pete's events over at the Spelljammer page. It's always a pleasure, Pete. I always have fun narrating with you. I have a great time.
Oh yeah, this was a great game. I'd love seeing Madrak. I'd love playing Thexus.
You ever need to borrow any Trolls models to field this? Trust me, it's a hell of a good time.
We'll have that 3 Kings game with the 2 Sea Kings. That'll come.
Oh yeah, I can't play a Glacier King with him anymore. That sucks. I mean, maybe an Unlimited. Yeah.
Why play Glacier Kings when you have Sea Kings?
Yeah. The 1 each is just what I wanted. All right, good game, man.
Good game.
All right, see ya.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to check out some additional content, including the original video and audio of our battle reports to support the channel, please click our Patreon link in the video description below. If there are any factions, warcasters, or warlocks you would like to see on the channel, please let us know in the comments. And as always, see you on the next Tried and True Battle Report.